and this is not YouTube University. That starts in 45 minutes. However, I thought I'm going to keep showing you examples of how you can take assets you have in your business, like a book, and we're going to slap a QR code up for the book in the lower third of the screen, and I'm going to read chapter 2 to you while I go text my students to let them know that we have class in 45 minutes. Only perk of being in Atlantic time zone, I'm ahead of Eastern Standard Time, so you're going to get a little bit more notice about YouTube University this week because I'm up and ready to go. Somebody's in the hospital, so I'm reminding him he can still join via his phone. Give me a nice excuse he didn't have his computer. I don't accept excuses. I just tell you to still get the work done. So let me go text Jared. City is in 45 minutes on Zoom. Let me know if you're up. We've got students across the world in different time zones. I understand 9 a.m. Eastern, maybe a little bit early. This is why this is live streamed and uploaded to the YouTube channel. I am YouTube famous. So you can find all these recordings on youtube.com/@symbol. I am YouTube famous. Easy. And this week's been the first week that we've been running the 8-week YouTube Visibility Engine Sprint, where we are hands-on, making sure your YouTube channel is created, making sure it looks nice on all size screens, especially important with that YouTube banner most of you have. Usually it's not optimized. Usually it does not look good on both mobile, tablet, desktop, and 100-inch TVs. So we're really fine-tuning during the first week of the visibility engine, fine-tuning the look and feel of your YouTube channel, making sure your banner's good, making sure the description's there, making sure all your links to all your products and services are in your description. A lot of you don't know you can actually customize the look of your YouTube channel, so you can customize the look. You're going to have videos, shorts, playlists. You're going to have all these tabs. If you're not using playlists or lives, turn those tabs off. Like, we want a really organized looking YouTube channel, and you don't realize how many customizations there are in YouTube until you actually start playing with the dashboard. So, and since it's the first social media link people will find when they do a Google search on you, and it doesn't require a password to access, why aren't we optimizing the look of YouTube? Why? You're focused on posting on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, yet you're not actually customizing the first social media people will find when they do a Google search on you. Go fix it. Okay, let's go text. I'm not texting everybody. I'm just texting the new students. So there we go. The new students have been texted. Just because I know they're not in Eastern Standard Time, they're in Central Time. So we're going to go back to reading this. And then in 40 minutes, we'll switch over to the Zoom call, and we'll rebroadcast that live. Let's see. Chapter number 2. So this is the Connected Leaders Academy, Thrive, Transformative Strategies for Entrepreneurs, Compressing Time. Okay, Chapter 2. Compressing Time and Achieving Yearly Goals Every Quarter by Michael Young. As a quick introduction, my name is Michael. That's also my name. I'm a productivity expert, business coach, and founder of Elite Productivity. My mission is simple: which is to help entrepreneurs get time back so they can build great businesses and experience their best lives. To date, I have hundreds of private clients across 40 different countries who simultaneously created abundance of impact, income, freedom, and autonomy. Autonomy. While all this looks and sounds awesome, my journey started from the very bottom. In fact, I didn't even discover entrepreneurship until my third year in college, because growing up in a middle-class family where both parents hustled to climb the corporate ladder to provide for me and my younger brother, I had three career choices: doctor, lawyer, or a failure. That does not sound uncommon. Some of my friends I know. So I studied hard and became a veterinary surgeon, but in between clinical shifts, I would read books like Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and 4 Hour Work Week. Over time, I realized I didn't want to spend 50 hours per week in an animal clinic for the next 30 years of my life. Not knowing any better, I bought an online course to start an e-commerce business. Despite massive pushback from my parents and my friends back then, because I knew no one in my circle who actually owned a business, I did it as I had a grand vision or purpose. I did it because, according to the landing page of that course, I could earn money while also working 4 hours a week from a beach. But 18 months later, instead of achieving that, getting rich and living on a beach, I found myself sitting on the side of the road in a total shock. Having worked 12 to 16-hour days, 7 days per week over months, my body decided to shut down. I fell asleep while driving 70 miles per hour on a highway. We've all been there. Luckily, no one was hurt, but at that moment, I realized I screwed up. I wanted to live the laptop lifestyle and travel around the world. But not only did I sacrifice the exact thing I was fighting for, I almost killed myself in the process. Been there, done that. The irony is, I did exactly what all motivation gurus told me I was supposed to do. Sleep is for the weak, but be the hardest worker in the room. Sleep when you're dead. You hear that a lot in entrepreneurship. If working 12 hours a day isn't enough to hit my goals, let's just work 16-hour days, because that will allow you to hit your goal. But despite grinding myself to the bone, only to end up in a feast or famine cycle, I wasn't about to quit, because I will do anything to achieve my vision. To make sure that my mission does come true, what's the other option? My haters, my doctors, they will be right, and I will have to give up on my dreams and go back to a job. So I only have one option, which is to find a way to be productive, not by doing more, but by learning how to create a better alternative, by learning how to achieve more while working less. That's what led me down my journey to redefining productivity. Your results have nothing to do with how hard you work. With that said, let's dive deep. My first message is this: the level of results you're generating in your life and business have little to do with how much or how hard you are working. I'm sorry to break it to you, but this is harsh. This is a harsh reality. Individuals who accumulate immense wealth are not working any harder than an average employee. They're simply investing their attention differently to yield a higher return on time. Here's my objective for you today. My goal is not to help you hustle harder or trade more time for more revenue. My goal here is to help you achieve an abundance of impact, income, and freedom by multiplying your return on time. Exactly why we do this YouTube University. That is a North Star metric that I will invite you all to measure against. So return on time is simple. Simply take the amount of money you're making right now and divide it by the amount of hours you're working. That is return on time. My class does this when we work together. If I doubled your income by doubling your hours, I would have failed, because my job here is to help you achieve more by doing less, so you can reclaim the time and freedom that you want to experience, that your family wishes to have with you as an entrepreneur. It doesn't have to be that way. So as we dive deeper, I would love to ask you, number one, what is your current return on time or your approximate output? And number two, what do you want that number to be? Please do not limit yourself, because whilst the amount of time we have is fixed, the value on our time can flex indefinitely. Here's why most people limit what they can achieve: because they have limited hours in the day, and because we are conditioned to think linearly. According to the industrial time management model, where more equals more, let's sacrifice everything for success. Let's grind and network everybody. Let's trade time for money. And let's get stressed, overwhelmed, and exhausted. But it doesn't have to be that way. Because during my journey of redefining productivity, I've stumbled upon an exponential quantum productivity model where less equals more. We're simply focused on simplicity and effectiveness instead of trading more time for more hours. This is where freedom increases in profits and where the money and time works for you. That's where our entrepreneurial journeys become predictable, exciting, and super fulfilling. 2 steps to unlocking quantum productivity. So again, just to do a mid-stop right here, instead of working harder to optimize for time and revenue, focus on multiplying return on time. I cannot stress this enough. In order to do so, here are 2 steps to unlocking quantum productivity. Number one, we must create space for time reclamation. Never ever will I tell you to just increase more work hours or to work faster and get more done. Space and speed. Write these 2 words down. I'm sorry, there's a spelling mistake in here, so my eyes are like focused on the spelling mistake. So, not everything's perfect. Number 1, create space. First, let's talk about this need for space. By saying yes to something, you are indirectly saying no to something else. Random fires, non-stop notifications. I have all notifications turned off on my phone and have for years. Micro transitions or other people's agendas, distractions, and the famous $10 per hour tasks. These are all taking us away from spending time in our zone of genius and spending time on the high leverage, profit based activities that actually move us, our business, and our lives forward. In order for us to understand quantum productivity, we must also understand opportunity costs. The fact is that we are not busy or don't have enough time because we have too many things to do. We're busy because we're subconsciously prioritizing low value tasks over things that actually matter for us, for our markets, for our team members, for our clients, and for our loved ones. So the key to alleviating overwhelm is through the process of simplification. Again, what we teach in YouTube University, simplify your content. 1 live stream per week is all you need to do. Again, we're not here to help you grow with a more is more approach. We're here to help you unlock the power of addition by subtraction. So instead of compensating for a lack of results by working faster or adding more things to do, we've got to first eliminate what should not be consuming your time and attention in the first place. How much are you doom scrolling, right? This is where I would like to introduce you to a framework called the drip matrix. Everything that we do after we eliminate the $0 task falls down to these 4 quadrants. Number 1, things to delegate. Number 2, things to replace. Number 3, things that allow you to produce. And number 4, things to invest to. 4 things. Did you hear that? Number 1, things to delegate. Number 2, things to replace. Number 3, things that allow you to produce. And number 4, things to invest into. What you want to do here is to move our bandwidth from the delegation and replacement quadrants into the production and investment quadrants. Because the things in the replacement delegation quadrants are things that might make us some money, but do not light you up internally. But the things that are in the production and investment quadrants are the things that not only light us up, but also make us way more money than just trudging along. I trudged along for decades. And that's why I moved myself out of my home city and moved myself onto the road. Because I can always have other technicians go do my work. But in order to find new clients, I had to get out of my home city. Okay, let's go do this. In the mundane, day-to-day linear tasks that make us some money, but don't really light us up or move forward. So stop trudging along in the mundane, day-to-day linear tasks that make you a little bit of money, but don't light you up. Stop that and drop it like it's hot. Just that stuff got to be delegated out. I got a lot of examples I can refer to this. And I know Michael Young because I've spoken to him. I met him in person. I've spoken to him, but he lives on the other side of the globe. So as you continually eliminate and delegate and reclaim your time, let me ask you this one question. How will you reallocate your time for the highest returns? Just by doing less and learning how to say no and learning how to delegate to our assistants and team members, I guarantee you can easily free up 10 to 20 hours per week without moving backwards. In fact, you're able to create space to move forward at higher speed. Accumulate speed. This leads to your second ingredient, which is identifying elements of disruption. So I'd like you to recognize that right now. If you feel like you're working too hard for too little, if you feel like you're stuck despite putting in your best efforts, let me share with you why this is the case. This is because you're operating in a linear manner. You go from point A to point B. Back it up. What got you from point A to point B will not get you from point B to point C. Whilst working harder can allow you to increase your output, it will only do to a certain extent before you hit your capacity and eventually plateau. So we have to switch gears, and that involves us making big moves. So think about this. In order for you to switch gears and enter a higher level playing field, who must you become? How can you dramatically increase your output, and what big moves do you have to make? I'm pretty sure if you're really nervous, you have made those big moves already at some point in your life. You just have to make them again. For example, going from an employee to starting your own business. For example, doing everything yourself to hiring your first broker assistant, from doing all the sales outreach to the follow-up to prospecting yourself to hiring and training a sales team. Again, all we're doing here is reallocating our time, bandwidth, effort, and energy towards a vehicle that provides us a greater return. Wherever that is, I invite you to start making that shift. Whatever move you commit to, really commit, because it's going to take a lot out of you at a point where you're forced to grow to become a better version of yourself. As we do so, as we shift gears and commit to executing this element of disruption, as a reminder for you all, keep in mind the quality of output will be determined by the intensity of focus. So if you're going to make big moves, don't wing it by investing only a fraction of your attention. I bring this up in YouTube University all the time. One video a week, one live per week is all you need. One YouTube channel is all you need. You need to master the craft of setting a time, same place every single week for where your audience comes and finds you, rather than you splitting your time up across different social medias. You're gonna burn yourself out. I know this might sound logical and simple, but it is exactly what I see most entrepreneurs make as a mistake as they try to grow. Instead of committing to a simple yet highly effective pathway, they spread their bets across a million different things to a point where they end up with 7 offers, 9 funnels, 27 upsells, downsells, upside down sales, and software subscriptions. And one business that gives you high stress, low peace, high expenses, and low margins. Sounds like all the go high level resellers out there. Am I right? I'm sorry if you're into GHL, but no, I'm not a big fan of multi-level marketing systems. Sorry. I probably have students. I have students doing GHL in my class, and I'm like, I'm old school website builder from the 90s. We wrote pure HTML. Just putting that out there. I know some stuff. That is the exact opposite of building a highly leveraged business and becoming a highly productive entrepreneur. We all have 24 hours in our day. We recognize that we're all playing on a level playing field, with every one of us having 24 hours per day. But at the same time, if we simply allocate, let's say, 20% of our resources across 5 different opportunities, that's the equivalent of us trying to compete in 5 different races. Just get good at one. Do the YouTube. With 20% of our energy dedicated to each of them, we're expecting ourselves to somehow win over someone else who has dedicated 100% of their energy towards a single race. Even if you're talented, I'm pretty sure somebody else who has dedicated their full focus towards one pathway will outproduce someone who's talented, who is spread across 5 different things. 100%. That's why Restream, what I'm using right now, broadcasting to 5 different places at once, one live stream. This is the way forward. So again, in order for speed to recreate it, simplicity and focus must lead the way. That leads us to the need to practice deep work and tap into our flow states. Our productivity as entrepreneurs in the modern age is dying a death by 1,000 cuts. Not because we lack the tools, resources, or information, but because we are living in a modern society that is conditioning us to be hyper-reactive to the point where we can never tap into flow. You know, that flow state where time seems to be slowing down for us, where 1 hour seems to last forever, and we're able to breeze past our most demanding tasks as if it's nothing. That is flow state, and you must tap into it. Being productive and executing our element of disruption means spending time in a flow state so we can produce the highest quality work and develop what we call deliberate practice. There's a reason why writers like Larry King have a 4-hour routine where he writes in flow states. There's a reason why peak athletes and world-class performers have a pre-game ritual so they can get into their prime states for peak performance as they enter the arena. That's because our productive output exponentially correlates with our intensity of focus. So you want to do something right? If you want to start with the best version of yourself and produce your best work, practice tapping into flow. Compound your return on time. I think it's raining outside. First, you cannot expect yourself to work faster and just hustle your way towards solving every single problem. Increasing productivity starts by creating space. I'm just checking time. We got 20 minutes to go to class. 20 minutes to go to class. I got a couple pages left, so I got to hurry myself up. First, you cannot expect yourself to work faster and just hustle your way towards solving every single problem. Increasing productivity starts by creating space, and that means being willing to eliminate and delegate what is no longer worth your time. Whatever you want your desired target of return on time to be, use that as your filter. So let's say you want to raise the bar and increase the return on time from $250 per hour to $1,000 per hour. Then be willing to eliminate and delegate every single task that is valued at less than $1,000 per hour. Simple as that. But it's not easy to do because, again, it takes commitment to let go of something. Once you let go of that, you can tap into a second pillar, which is reallocation. And that is where you're able to reinvest time towards making big moves that lead to exponential growth. That's where the magic happens, because once that is done, the compounding effect kicks in. As you continually reclaim every hour of your time, you're probably able to create new standards, one layer at a time, to a point where you eventually end up with a business that is performing way beyond the imagination and a life that involves a limitless stream of abundance and autonomy. As we wrap up here are a few key reminders for you all to unlock quantum productivity. Number 1, practice outcome-based project management. Never start projects without clearly defined outcomes in mind. Again, we were living in a highly constructed era, so whoever controls attention will eventually end up on top. I got 5 live viewers. Number 2, live below your time budgets. Before saying yes to approaches or responsibilities, ask yourself what you'll be saying no to. Number 3, routinely audit how your time is to be allocated and continually strive to increase the value of your time. Because again, nothing is important when everything is important. So always prioritize. and that is the author, Michael Young. About the author, Michael Young. I hope I'm saying your last name properly. Having had his fair share of 100-hour work weeks and crippling burnouts, Michael discovered a unique approach to productivity that allowed him to achieve more by working less. Having transitioned away from being a burnt-out veterinary surgeon to now running a highly profitable lifestyle business, Michael now helps entrepreneurs to masterfully invest their time to surpass their ambitious business goals while experiencing the freedom and autonomy they deserve, with success stories across 14 different countries and countless industries. So, I'm reading you this, and each chapter ends up being a video on the playlist in my YouTube channel that's going to be called Connected Leaders Academy Thrive Transformative Strategies for Entrepreneurs. It just took me like half hour to read a chapter, give or take. And in our 8-week YouTube visibility engine program, I'm going to take the barcode was up, the QR code was up for an example that you can, using Restream, we can drop in call to actions to your audience. So, for example, this book is available on Amazon. The QR code takes you to the book link. If you want to have a physical copy of this in your hands, go do that. If you want the audio version, I'm creating it live for you right now. So I'm going to take the QR code down, and we're going to put up the link for that ticker's a little bit fast here. Let's see. Why did that disappear? No, but what do you want? I'm going live until like 5 minutes before class, and then I'll fire up the Zoom, and then we'll see if a restream works. I just need to make more coffee. Now I'm going to leave it running just so eyeballs on this. But what we're doing, we started this week, the 8-week YouTube visibility engine installation. And what does that mean? We're showing you how to start or reactivate your YouTube. There's a lot of dead YouTube accounts out there. I know some people who swear off YouTube, and I know for a fact they got 6 dead accounts out there because they started, they failed, they started, they failed. They could not find consistency. And all it really takes is 1 video per week. My example is live streaming, because live streaming is so simple to do. And there's really no editing required unless you're OCD and you got to have your edits in. But that means you're coming from traditional broadcast media, TikTok or Instagram, where you were like shooting video and then trimming it to like 60 seconds or 120 seconds. We don't need to do that with YouTube unless you want to leverage shorts, which are great. So live stream, what we're teaching you in class is start your YouTube, fix it, build it, reactivate it from dead, right? Let's get your YouTube going. Let's make the banner looks nice. And today in class, I'm going to show you examples of banners I've designed this week, because I'm really just using Claude AI, giving it the parameters for a YouTube banner, because we want the YouTube banner to look nice on mobile. So small screens, tablet screens, 13-inch laptops, 25-inch, YouTube is viewed on all platforms, and right now TV screens are watching YouTube more than mobile. But traditionally, you're probably going to build your audience on mobile, which means we want both. You can't see it unless you're watching me on multiple devices, but I'm live streaming right now on portrait and landscape. So going live once a week in both portrait and landscape to YouTube to make those assets over there, and then we can chop your 20-minute live, your 30-minute live, your 1-hour live, your 2-hour live, however long you feel comfortable going for live, chop that live down to shorts using the YouTube software. You don't have to pay for extra software. Also, there's other ways you can generate shorts. I just don't want to confuse you right now. But one live per week. Go for half hour. The longer you go, the more shorts you can pull out of your live, and just, bring up your business assets. You can share your website. You can share your client testimonials, read your books. Like, there's so many ways for you to make content easily and then shorten that and repurpose it across multiple social medias. Okay, here, take your laptop. I think it's charged. Yes, I was working with 2 laptops yesterday because there's just a ton of projects going on, and Eventbrite was pissing me off all week because I kept making the event for Boston for our friend Roxy, and like 2 days in a row I could not get Eventbrite to save that damn Boston event. So I don't even know if it's saved or published because I wanted to put some ad money behind Eventbrite and it just wouldn't let me save any of the images. And it's like, and I've got like 3 internet connections here. I was like, why can't I save this? So anyway, 15 minutes ago, YouTube University, we're like week 46 or week 47. If you're on the email list, you got a blast out, and that always includes your Zoom link. It's the same Zoom link every single Saturday at 9 a.m. Eastern. If it's too early for you, we're doing our best attempt at live streaming this to all the platforms. When it works great. When it doesn't work, great. We've got a recording, typically, of Zoom. Plays nice. We got a recording. So that's all the previous classes, all the previous recordings are up at youtube.com. Let me drop this in here, lower third. So I'm just giving you an example of how simple it is to go. You're already working on shorts or postings for social media. Just jump and do it live. Okay, let me see if that works here. I hide that. Show. Okay, that is the link right there on the screen where all of our recordings for our free Saturday 9 a.m. class go. I've taken so every Saturday 9 a.m. we have a free class. It's Ask Me Anything. Come in and ask me about your YouTube channel and how you can repurpose your content. If you've been stuck for a while with your YouTube not growing, you're stuck under 1,000 subs, you're lost, you got a lack of ideas for your YouTube, whatever the case may be, come join in the class or even book on my Zoom calendar. Just come and there's going to be a reason you're stuck. You might have we got to make yours. We're going to start with the basics. Your YouTube channel's got to look nice because unfortunately with YouTube, a lot of people just start dumping their content there, but they don't really design their client journey. So I go there and there's no background image. There's no call to action. Like, your audience needs to be, it's different. Like YouTube, since it's like a university, since it's like an Encyclopedia Britannica, since it's like the place you store all your videos about you and your journey as an entrepreneur or as a brand, or if you go look at any account that's been around for a while that's got 1 million subs. And I'm not saying you need 1 million subs. I'm just saying, there's a certain art to a YouTube channel, and that usually starts with the background image. It kind of just sets the tone for the whole thing, right? So if it doesn't look nice, I know that usually the YouTube channel is completely disorganized and there's no labels, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, and because it's the first discovery point for your brand, other than your website, it needs to look nice. Even if there's not a lot of content there, if the YouTube channel looks nice and has got a clear call to action for subscribe, and then I'll link to your website or QR code to scan to get on your mailing list, you've literally instructed your audience to subscribe to you and then join your mailing list. So you've already got them to do 1 or 2 steps before they consume your content, right? So and then we just start building out the client journey. You can customize the whole look of your YouTube channel. Most people don't know that because they don't play with it enough. They don't have a producer, a YouTube coach like myself to step them through building out their YouTube and say, hey, tweak this, tweak this, tweak this, because I'm going to act like your ideal client. And when I come to your YouTube channel, there's certain questions I have for you about your brand, about what you do. And if I can't figure that out based on clicking on your playlist or a couple of videos, I'm lost. And a confused buyer is not a buyer. A confused buyer is going to say, no, wait a minute, I got to digest the information you're giving me, right? So anyway, playlists are great. Labeling videos based on dates, great. And just and this is why we're using YouTube as a first place. Create the video content, put it on YouTube, edit it into shorts, organize it that way, and then we're just going to repurpose that. It's kind of like we're using YouTube as like an organization container for your brand video content. Shorten it there, organize stuff, give it titles, give it descriptions, and then once we're satisfied with the way the YouTube looks, we're going to repurpose that video content to your other holding places like LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, whatever. So let's use YouTube as like the holding organization place of all your stuff. And as we tweak it and fine tune it, we're gonna repurpose that content to the other places. Now, if you've already got workflow on TikTok or Instagram or I don't know why you'd be using Facebook for workflow. It deletes your videos after 30 days. But if you've already got a workflow, if you've already got VAs doing Instagram and TikTok for you, all that stuff, that's great. We're just going to use repurpose.io, grab that content over there and drag it over to YouTube, because you've already spent time, money, energy, delegation effort making that content. Why don't we grab that stuff and throw it up on a playlist on YouTube called TikTok, or like, just so when your audience comes and finds your YouTube, they'll be like, oh, hey, here's the brand. Oh, I remember that. Like, your audience is smart enough to figure out that if they've seen your videos or shorts in other places, they'll recognize them if they're over on your YouTube. So why not do that? Just leaving that thought for you there. I'm just looking at my comments. The book Thrive is about transformative strategies for entrepreneurs. So there is 3, 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 co-authors in this book, right? So but I got to wrap this up because we got to go live for YouTube University in like 6 minutes. The website's right here, connectedleadersacademy.com. You can learn more about Connected Leaders Academy. I told Jose, as soon as I start reading all these books, he's going to have a huge a jumpstart in interest in the Connected Leaders Academy. So we're going to drop it. We're going to leave that comment right there. connectedleadersacademy.com. I've been part of it for a couple years. I met a bunch of great individuals. When I travel the United States, I'm usually visiting people in this organization. That's the method to my madness right there. So anyway, it's 9:55 a.m. I'm going to go shut this down and go start the live stream for YouTube University. So I'll be right back. We're just going to shift gears and hook up Zoom.